Cut vlog, day 14. It is the last week of the cut. It's my upper body one session for the week. And on the menu today, I've got some barbell bench press, 70% for 5 sets of 5. That is about 245 pounds on the bar today. So that is scaling up. Got some Pendlay rows, upper back pull down, and some other stuff that we'll get into, but pretty much warmed up on bench. So getting ready to get right into it. At some point in time, my training, I'll go over my training because it's going to change a little bit when I get into the growth phase. I'm going to be transitioning. It's still going to be an upper lower split-ish. Well, what it is, it's going to be a true DC training program, okay? At least initially, until I have a reason for it not to be. But I've never run a true DC training split, and so that is what I'm going to be doing for at least the first leg of the growth phase. But I will save all of those details for another video. For now, let's go ahead and get into some bench press. 245 loaded on the bar. I've got some 2.5s now. I have a client, Sandy. Sandy is 70 something years old and she's still training, still in the gym, kicking ass. And let me fix this shit here. Boom. And she has given me some of her workout equipment. So I got some plates, some bumper plates, some small change plates. Very thankful for that. A kettlebell. Pretty cool. Perks of being a trainer. All right, 245 on the bar. I'm going to burn through these pretty quick. Probably rest like maybe a minute. 5 sets. I'll record the first one and time lapse the rest of them. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Ooh. 3, 4, 5. Easy money. A little rest. Bang them out. Burn through those 5 sets, 5 reps at 245. It's actually pretty challenging towards the end there. I had some slower rep than I thought I would, but it's just basically that low rest period or the low rest time. So normally I would go into a drop set to 225 at this point, but I'm actually just going to go into a little bit of a very light set, and I'm going to pump reps just right off of my chest. 135 and just pump some fucking prison reps, basically. Just hitting boom, 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 right off the chest. Try to fill it up with some blood. I'm going to go feet up as well. On to some Pendlay rows. All right, we got Pendlay rows. 225 on the bar last week. I had 205 on the bar, so I'm making a decent jump. 20 pounds isn't crazy. I really, to be honest with you, should just be bumping up 10 pounds in total. But warm-ups were feeling good. I maxed out the rep range last week. Got the green light to make a jump. So I'm gonna see what happens here, because again, I was feeling good in the warm-up. We'll go ahead and rip a couple sets off the ground. That's feeling good. We'll be back to 3 plates in no time. Rest a little bit, one more like that. Second set here. And you know what? Because I'm feeling so good, I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, pull a couple Pendlay rows. I think I got 8 reps on that first set. So maybe, 6 to 8. We'll see what we come up with. And after I hit that last slow rep on the rows, I'm gonna immediately go into 10 deadlifts. I don't know where I got this from. You know what, who it was? I worked with a guy named Nam way back in the day. He coached me for powerlifting for a short stint, and he had programmed dead rows. So it was basically like you do a deadlift and then you do a Pendlay row, and then you do a deadlift, and then you do a Pendlay row. And I fucking love them. They're brutal. Your heart rate goes crazy. It's very challenging, but you know, you feel just your entire posterior chain nuked after that. Hamstrings, glutes, lower back, upper back, lats, everything on your backside is toasted. So I don't think I want to send it, full send it, but I think, yeah, hitting a couple reps on the Pendlay row and then maybe 10 reps or so on the deadlift. I think that'll be good. Hammies. Yeah, that was nice. I might bring something like that back into the rotation. I like it. Close grip Smith. Last week had 145 loaded. This week 155. So making a little bit of a jump here. These are feeling pretty good today as well. Slight little form change on this. It all just depends on like how I'm feeling on the day. I've had a couple sessions where I did elbows more tight to the body. A couple sessions where I let the elbows float away from the body. I just find the tension on that day, and it could all vary depend on, you know, what my shoulders are feeling like in terms of how much I have available to me, how tight I am. Like I'm trying to train my triceps, and so I'm gonna put my elbows and shoulders wherever they need to be to feel my triceps. So today it's a elbows kind of away from the body, pressing a little bit higher on the chest kind of day. See what we got. Ooh, pretty good. Right on the triceps. Rest a little bit. One more like that. Uno más. Onto some upper back pull downs. But before we do that, you know, we gotta hit a little pump check here. Gotta hit a little pump check. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Moving into an upper back pull down. Let's get into it. Watch that back. I feel like maybe my shoulders, like one of them, I wasn't able to, maybe my right scap, not able to set that down. I'm gonna actually move through these reps a little bit more freely because I feel like I am overthinking it, trying to almost feel too much. So I'm just gonna let my body move, trust my body, and see what we come up with here. that'll do it. So yeah, watching that set back, the second set of the upper back pull downs, I like the way that that one looked and felt more than the first set. And you know, sometimes I can fall victim to just like trying to get too fancy with it or just overthinking shit. And I have to remind myself at times, like, man, you've been doing this for a long time. Like, your body kind of knows what to do. You know, when I am not feeling things exactly the way that I want to, sometimes the answer for me isn't like try harder. It's like, just get in and just move. Just start moving, maybe even be a little bit looser with the reps and allow yourself. Maybe something I tell my clients is like, when we're doing a new exercise, I say sometimes you're gonna have to stack up shitty reps before you stack up good reps. Just start moving, because they'll do a couple reps and they'll be like, is this right? And I'm like, I don't know, keep going. Just keep going. Let me see more of it so I can see what's happening. And you know, on their end, like, hey, sometimes you need to be able to know where left is relative to right in order to be able to know where the middle is at, if that makes sense. So, you know, that was just another case for me of like, man, sometimes just don't overthink it. Just get in, just move, and let your body figure this shit out. Next on the menu is a lying cuff lateral raise. But before I get into that, I'm gonna do a little movement that I like to do for rear delts and pick up some upper traps too. It doesn't look like much, but I don't have much direct rear delt training in the mix right now, so I kind of sprinkle this little stuff in between sets. And this one is, I don't know what to call this. I just feel that I can connect with my rear delts and traps when I do it. I found it just by messing around. So it's really just like almost like a little partial row and a shrug, and just pumping in and out of that. I'm driving elbows back, and I can feel rear delts here. I can feel traps here. I'm just racking up maybe, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 reps. Only got 15 pounds here. I'm just gonna pump a whole bunch of these, and every so often, I'm gonna really get out in front, round my upper back stretch, and then back into it from the back. And the further you try to drive elbow back and up, the more rear delt you get. Ooh. Ooh. Ah, that'll do it. All right, we'll get into some lying cuff lateral raises next. Got the pulley set a little bit lower than I had previously, and I'm gonna bend elbow a little bit more, almost trying to mimic like a machine lateral raise. Mm. 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 Oh. Ooh. Yeah, sometimes doing these with a straight arm can pick up a little bit of bicep for me. I don't even know if it's bicep. It's my elbow, where it just doesn't feel great trying to keep the arm super straight. And I've always been able to get a really good connection with the lateral raise machine that's set up like this. So just trying to mimic that a little bit, playing with it, trying to get that feel. And that felt pretty good. I didn't get anything in my elbow and a whole lot of tension on the medial head of the delt. And at the top, I'm almost trying to go from here to reaching out, getting it a little bit more away from my body, just so I can really kind of reach away from the body at the top. And as I come back down, right about to where I would normally pick up some of that elbow pain, kind of now starting to bend the arm, right? So I think I'm gonna play around with that and just keep that in the mix. Oh. Come on. Oh, shit. Yeah, sometimes if I have a little bit more, like I feel like I got a little bit more out of one side than the other on laterals, I'll do some partial reps. I'll finish up, like you see I did the right side, banged out a couple partial reps just to even it out, right? Skin is looking pretty thin. on the shoulders. A little knot right there. Little L-carnitine. Little L-carnitine hasn't worked itself out yet. That's something I actually really like doing, putting a little bit of L-carnitine into whatever body part is being trained. I'll even put it in my pecs, put it in my shoulders, medial delt, rear delt, bicep, which I hate bicep shots, but tricep, outer sweep of the quads. That's pretty much it. I won't put it anywhere else. I have done lat shots, but they gross me out. So not something I do regularly. Even just with like a little insulin syringe, biceps are tough for me because whenever I put something in my bicep, every single time the bicep goes and contracts. It's the craziest thing. It's nerve-wracking pinning that spot because I know every single time the bicep is gonna jump and contract, and it takes everything in me to not pull the thing out of me when it happens. So, okay, now we've got single arm tricep extensions and pretty much closing out the session with that. So we'll get a little tricep pump, and that'll be right about it. That's it. I've got abs that I got to do. I'm just going to do a couple sets on rope crunch, but I'm not going to film that. I'm going to close the video out here. Overall, pretty good session. I basically have 2 more sessions left in the cut. Today is Wednesday. Not sure when you guys will be seeing this video, but it's a Wednesday today. So I've got my Friday and Saturday session left in the cut. And then on Monday, roll into the new training setup, which it's going to be pretty much all of the same movements. It's just organized differently, and I'll get into this on its own separate video. But the training volume, it's in a way a very similar amount of volume, but everything on paper is 1 set, but it's 1 set with a couple rest pause sets. So if you really look at that, like what a rest pause set does, it's multiple points of failure within a single set. So technically you can say that it's not just a single set because you're accumulating multiple points of failure, right? So it's kind of semantics, but that's a lot of what the new training is going to be. On paper says 1 set, but there are going to be a couple rest pause sets within each set. So yeah, super stoked. I'm going to carry the momentum that I built from the last leg of this little cut here with these exercises and carry that into the growth phase. I'm going to keep in the percentage-based work. So that's going to be the only kind of deviation from like true DC style training, is I'm going to keep in that percentage-based work. But outside of that, it's going to be a true DC training split. So yep, I will see you guys on the next one.